sicherlich von Vorteil gewesen. Nicht behelligt und gut gelaunt. Ja, aber schön, dass ihr da seid. Winkt mal kräftig rein. Ja.
I'm completely wrong, but maybe can be also yeah.
Dranbleiben und hoffentlich ein bisschen. Ich habe noch eine erste Frage geholt.
Anyway, we have nothing to do.
Dass wir uns nicht durch die Brücke zwängen müssen. Wie kommt er?
Hello everyone, we are here in Oschersleben. Are you ready to rumble? Because we certainly are. It is race day 2 and it's going to be interesting with the weather. It might be a little gamble if it's going to rain or not. Let's find out, right? Luca Engstler here with me, starting in P2. You had a great day yesterday, now again starting in P2. So what are you going to make out of it?
Well, trying to have a better start, but in the end we have quick cars behind with the Ford and the BMW, but trying to do my best there.
Of course, you always try your best and you're doing really well. The start of the season for you was a little bit difficult, but now it's going so well. And Oschersleben and you have a very special connection there because I heard that you used to watch your father racing here, so you love this place, right?
Yeah, 100%. We've been almost 2-3 times a year here with all the tests of my dad and the racing, so I really know this place well. Been around the paddock with any kind of vehicle, and yeah, just great to always be here, yeah.
And you've won here before, so hopefully today, who knows, you might be able to win again. That would be nice.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in the end, we had a great day yesterday, and honestly, whatever is coming now is just a cherry on the cake, but I think it's all in all already a great weekend, so no pressure, just try and enjoy and give it a full cent.
You do that, enjoy it. Thank you so much, Luca. Here are your commentators.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Welcome everybody to day 2 then here at Oschersleben, the second race of the weekend, and what is going to be round 10 of this 16-round championship coming up. Yeah, Luca Engstler equaling his best ever qualifying front row of the grid for the second time this weekend. It's the third time now he's qualified in second place. And yeah, Dad, Franz Engstler is actually a winner here at Oschersleben, not in the DTM, but in the World Touring Car Championship in which he competed. He raced quite a long time in the DTM, for around about 5 years, from the late 1980s to the mid-1990s for BMW, and has then since gone on to be pretty successful racing in things like the Ferrari Challenge as well. There's a fan of Nicky Tim if ever I saw one, and Nicky Tim with work to do, having come into this weekend as the championship leader. He's starting near the back of the grid. More about that soon, but here's Verena.
And I've got the pole setter right here, Thomas Preining. Yesterday, pole setter, you won the race. Today, pole setter, so hopefully you can repeat that. The pressure is kind of on, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think also it's still a bit of a lottery with the weather too, so I think it's going to be a very exciting race. Obviously, I hope for a boring one, but I'm pretty sure it won't be.
And also, I mean, it's a gamble about the weather. I think the radar says 2:30. Who knows? We'll see, I guess. We'll find out. Also, you're fighting for the championship. You made that very clear. You're 24 points behind. Engel, who is the leader of the championship, is further behind. So in other words, if I do the math correctly, win this, he stays a bit further, and hey, you're the championship leader.
In the end, I just want to score as much as possible. I cannot have any impact what the others do. Nevertheless, obviously, this is an amazing opportunity for us to reduce the gap, which was the goal for the weekend. So obviously, the goal is to try and keep doing that.
And let me stress the point once again, anything is possible in the DTM.
Exactly.
All right. Best of luck, Thomas. Thank you so much. And now we're going to try to find the next man because obviously we're going to try to get all the interviews. We're going to go to P6 and try to find Mirko Bortolotti, who this year is really having a difficult time. I think you can say that. He was champion, or he was the master of the DTM in 24, and now, I mean, he's starting in P6. And we will see, he's probably in good spirits because he always is. And I mean, P6 is definitely a good position for him. Hello there, how are you doing?
Fine, and you?
Lovely having you in the interview, having you in P6, and hopefully knowing you, you're such a fighter. I mean, you're known to always push really hard, so hopefully you can ace something here.
Yes, hopefully.
And in regards to the weather, Mirko, what do you think?
We will see.
It might help you.
It might.
Oh wow, more than 2 words perhaps?
2 is the maximum, I think, but now we already, we reached it. So, no, I mean, let's see what the weather does. I think it's just going to be a small shower. And I hope it's enough to spice things up, because we need it.
Absolutely. Best of luck, Mirko. Thank you so much there. And now we're going to try to find, no, Maini's not here, so how about here are the commentators? I'll try to grab him just a bit.
Excellent. Thanks very much indeed, Verini. Yeah, it's definitely sort of blowing up the wind out there, isn't it? It's pretty humid here at Oschersleben as well, so it feels like it's in the air. There's Ben Durr, who came into the weekend 6th in the championship. Of course, he's a double podium finisher now in the DTM, and of course a race winner from Lausitzring, but a disappointing weekend at the Norris Ring. And yesterday, lap 1, it all ended for him. Ran wide out on the grass on the exit to turn 3. Contact with Gilles Gounon, and he ended up with a puncture and a 3-place grid penalty, which puts him back 19th on the grid. Right, back down to Verena.
Hi, and I've got Arjun right here. So Arjun, how are you doing? Good spirits starting from this position?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great weekend so far, better than expected. Good starting place. Let's see, I think the best chances in the start. I think we will struggle on the old tires at the end of the stint, so I need to make my moves if I need to at the beginning of the race.
And speaking of making moves, I mean, we don't know about the weather, but it could be a gamble. So if there's a little shower, I guess, especially when you're not starting in pole position like you starting in P4, it could always help as well.
Yeah, let's see what it does. I mean, I don't mind. I know usually I'm a big advocate for the dry weather, but I don't mind a little bit of spice today.
You know what? Let's see. Let's find out. Best of luck. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Verini. I was just having a look. Of course, the first time we saw that Ford Mustang in the DTM was at Oschersleben last year, this season opener. And Arjun qualified 19th and 20th. They've turned it around brilliantly, haven't they, at HRT? And Arjun on fire at the moment. And his teammate Finn Wiebel has had a bad day yesterday. But both in the top 10 of the championship. Arjun up to 6th place. And he hasn't been out of the top 6 in any of the last 4 races. There, though, is Lucas Out with his worst qualifying of the year so far. He ran wide in qualifying at the start of his hot lap. Went into the gravel trap through turn 2, the hotel curve, and was never able to get the tyres rescued after that. Apparently as well, I'm told by the team at Schubert, Kelvin van der Linde ended up getting stuck behind Luigi Auer for the whole of a lap as Luigi recovered and threw stones onto the track, and that affected Kelvin's position as well. He's not done too badly at qualifying, Kelvin van der Linde. He's on the 4th row of the grid, but his teammate Marco Wittmann is 3rd on the grid, and Kelvin feels that he could have been potentially challenging up the front. So we'll see what the South African can do in this race. We have had a number of drivers retire yesterday, and this is if it stays dry, and a number of drivers therefore have saved an extra set of new tyres for today in terms of slicks. Right, back down to Verena on the grid.
And I've got Nicky Thiem here, the king of Norris Ring, and now, wow, what bad luck here at Oschersleben. You've got to tell us about the story with the tires. How is that possible? What happened with your tires that you had such a wobbly qualifying and now you're in P17, which is really bad luck?
Yeah, as you said, absolutely disaster. Big mistake from Pirelli, mounting the front tires on the rear rims and the rear tires on the front. So proper NASCAR style. Not enough left-handers to do that. But yeah, should never happen on this level, to be honest. Again, it's just one of those weekends when nothing works. But now we're going to have fun again. So try and get a good start again. Now, obviously, Sunday is always super exciting, DTM. So I hope for a super exciting race with some action out of the front and grab some points. But that's really the only realistic thing we can say about this weekend, because, yeah, Really like, I never tried this in my career that this happens. So yeah, it's a shame if that is what is going to affect the championship in the end. Let's see. Here we are. Let's make the most of it.
Let's make the most of it. Last question, though, because it is a Sunday. We've got strategy so important today with the 2 pit stops, and who knows about the weather, so hopefully that's going to come in handy somehow.
Yeah, I think it's going to come too late, the rain. But yeah, it would have been nice. But yeah, that's how it is. Just now, as always, take the helmet on, switch off the brain, and then we just full gas.
Full gas, Nicky. Thank you so much. Best of luck for this race. And yeah, we're super excited. We can't wait to go racing. So hold on tight. Here are your commentators. Enjoy this race.
Thanks very much, Verena. Sterling work down on the grid. You can always rely on Nicky Tim for the quote of the weekend, can't you? Put the helmet on, turn off the brain, and go full gas, he says. Yeah, interesting that he's already sort of referencing the championship there, because these drivers know how tight this championship always is, and these lost points here and there through circumstances can make a big difference. But yeah, the rear tyres mounted onto the fronts of the Aston Martin for qualifying, and the weight difference between them damaged the diff as well, so they had to get special permission to get the car out of parc fermé conditions where you can't touch the cars for an hour after the qualifying session and work on them. But there were, of course, exceptional circumstances to come to you racing with a big job to get the car fixed and get it out there for the race, which was good news. But Nicky Tim is going to have to try to come from 18th on the grid. He's the driver, second in the championship. Welcome then to day 2 here at Oschersleben. Round 10 of the championship about to get underway. And we've got another 55-minute plus 1 lap race for you. But, of course, unlike yesterday, on Sunday's races, you have 2 mandatory pit stops. The first pit window opens after 10 minutes of racing. Very early pit stop window. It's a 15-minute pit stop window in which everybody has to come in and change tyres. This is, of course, if it's all staying dry in the session, they'll go from slicks to 6. But there could be some weather affecting the race. It might come towards the end of the race, it might come in the middle, it might be a shower, or it might not happen at all. But certainly it's been declared a wet race, so it is a possibility. The second pit stop window is a really short one. It's only 6 minutes long, and that is between the 39th and 45th minute in the race. So after that second pit stop window, you've only got 10 minutes or so of racing. A big crowd gathered here then for this second race of the weekend, and it's Thomas Preining who's got pole position for the second time this weekend. He had to wait for 2 years between pole number 4 and pole number 5 in DTM. He only had to wait 24 hours between poles number 5 and 6. This is where we're racing then. The Motorsport Arena Oschersleben, just about 30 kilometres from Magdeburg, the northeast of Germany, and the circuit, the 4th permanent racetrack to ever be built in Germany. Founded and laid its foundations in the late 1990s. It is a technical circuit. It doesn't have the longest straights. The cars don't ever get up to their absolute full potential of top speed, and the middle sector is very tight, twisty and technical. So it's about being precise. It's not too heavy on tyre wear, but you have got to look after the tyres here because it's so easy to run wide through the gravel traps. And as we saw yesterday, a couple of cars through contact and through loose stones on the track picking up punctures. You have 3 sets of new Pirelli slick tyres to last, of course, the weekend across 2 qualifying sessions and 2 races. So you're going to have to use some used tyres in this race. Here's the grid then. The final row is Nicolas Bart and Ben Doe with a 3-place grid penalty for his contact with Jürgen on yesterday. Nicky Tim with the tyre issues that we've talked about, 18th. Marco Mappelli with him. Lucas Auer back in 16th. Tom Callender 15th. Finn Wiebelhaus and Bastian Boos next up. On the row ahead of them in row 6, it's Timo Glock and Thierry Vermeulen. Then into the top 10, Jules Gounon and Ricardo Feller on row 5. Row 4, Matteo Caroli starts where he started yesterday in 8th. Better qualifying today there for Calvin van der Linde. He's 7th. Mirko Bortolotti in 6th with Maro Engel, championship leader, alongside. Then it's Arjun Maini and a very ill Marco Wittmann on the second row of the grid. Luca Engstler starting 2nd, and Thomas Preining with his 6th career pole position. That means he picked up the maximum 3 championship points for pole. He got pole yesterday, he got a race win yesterday, he's got 31 points out of a possible 31 so far. So he's not on your graphic on the screen there, but he's not far away. He's 4th in the championship now, having started the weekend 9th in the championship. He's 24 points adrift. If Engel, Tim and Auer have disasters, he could actually even walk away with a championship lead here. Let's see what he can do from pole position. But, Brian, he's going to have extra weight on the car because the top 3 have success ballast from the previous race. So he's going to have 20 kilograms kilograms on board that car for finishing as the race winner yesterday. Luca Engstler will have 10 kilograms on his car added on for the race, and there'll be 5 for Maro Engel, who finished third. You heard from Verena Vries down on the grid, catching up with the drivers. My name is Chris Hartley, and as ever, alongside me here at Oschersleben, it's hello to Brian Oliver.
Hello, Chris. Hello, everybody around the world. I hope you are shouting and cheering for your favourite driver on the grid. It might look very similar on the front row to yesterday. It's very different behind. You've already mentioned Marco Wittmann is definitely under the weather. He's been ill for a few days. He's lost about 5 kilos, so that's about the opposite to a success ballast, I should think. So stamina is going to be an issue, but he will be over the moon with that qualifying effort. Third on the grid. Arjamani was buzzing at lunchtime, but what can they do about a slightly heavier Thomas Preining and Luca Engstler looking for that first win for this season?
Yeah, you're normally happy if you lose 5 kilograms, aren't you? And you're a bit quicker, but yeah, he's looking really gaunt when he spoke to Verena after the qualifying session. Really dug deep though, didn't he? Superb effort from the two-time champion to get himself his best qualifying of the year, ironically, despite the fact he's been really ill for a number of days. Marco Wittmann third on the grid. That is his best qualifying since he was on pole in September of last year at the Red Bull Ring. Now, just to mention, Brian, tyres, because there are only 3 sets of slick tyres available, but that could be a talking point in this race.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leading car 1 go and green flag.
Sven Stopper, the race director, gives us the countdown. So yeah, 3 sets of slick tyres available to you over the 2 qualifyings and 2 races. But a number of drivers yesterday retired their cars early. They maybe could have finished the race and maybe could have got some points, especially as only 14 cars finished the race yesterday. But strategically, it seems they're trying to save the tyres. So there are a few out there that are going to have an extra set of spanking brand new tyres.
Yes, and one of those is Marco Wittmann in third place on the grid. So if he can keep it together physically, he is in a really strong position. Also, Jules Gounon, another one to keep an eye on. We saw them retire the car from the lead of the race, albeit through the pit window. So several drivers with maybe a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, Finn Wiebelhaus, another one, and Ben Durr, of course. He only did a lap yesterday, so they'll bang new tyres on for qualifying, but they've got a really good set of tyres, whereas everybody else are going to have to use a set that did half of the race yesterday. So we'll see what comes to fruition. Really, really good pit stops yesterday. Massively impressed. We had a problem with the front left on Maro Engel's pit stop, but generally everybody was in the 6 seconds. I spoke to, I'm just about to speak about Schubert Motorsport. There's the boss, Torsten Schubert, checking things over. Adam Conewall, who's got the onboard camera this weekend, because we put an onboard on some of our pit crew members, so we should see some shots from him. But he was saying, actually, it's quite tricky here. I said, was it easy here or something? He said, no, it's not easier necessarily. Actually, a bit harder here because on the pit lane, there's a camber, and the pit lane cambers in towards the garages. So you're stood slightly unevenly, he says, which makes it, you know, when you're trying to do all this in 6 seconds, it makes it really difficult for the pit crews. Yet, we had all these 6-second pit stops yesterday, and even a 5.9 from Emil Frey Racing.
It is an unusual circuit. Of course, the entry to the pits is on the exit of turn 14. The exit of the pits is right in the middle of that tricky turn 2 on the outside.
The rolling start then, about to get underway here at Oschersleben. The safety car peels off on your front row. 2023 champion Thomas Preining, 2024 Oschersleben race winner Luca Engstler in the Lamborghini on the front row with him. He lost out on the start yesterday. Can he nail it today? We're about to go racing here then on Sunday at Oschersleben. Round 10 of DTM gets underway, roars into life, and the long run down towards the tight first corner begins. Thomas Preining on the inside of the Porsche, but it's a great start from Engstler, who throws himself around the outside and gets the Temerario briefly into the lead, then goes wide on the exit to turn 2 and misses the apex, gathers it back up together and just about gets put through in second place. Wittmann is going side by side here with Arjamani for third place. 2 big brutal cars driving absolutely side by side. Wittmann has to go to the inside then for the left-hander at turn 3, and he's still got side by side action with Arjamani. Mirko Bortolotti's kicking up the dust, running wide in his Temerario, the 2024 champion, but everybody survives as far as we can see, and Miney has luck, squeezed ahead of Wittmann, so he's got himself, the Indian driver, up into third place, and there in fourth is Wittmann. Fifth is his teammate Kelvin van der Linde. So Kelvin, who felt like he should have been higher up in qualifying but had the issue of being stuck behind Lucas Au, who'd been off the road and dragged a load of gravel onto the track in front of him. Well, he's had a great start, up to 5th place already. Bortolotti, despite his excursion, remains in the top 6. Engel is 7th, Cairoli, Feller and Gounon rounding out the top 10 in the race. Nicky Timms actually lost a place off the start, so the two Astons at the back of the field at the moment. And Tom Callender going side by side here to try and get past or stay ahead of Ben Durr, which he just about does. On-board camera view from Nicky Tim, the Dane, who is second in the championship, remember, but trying some damage limitation here just to try and get some points. So the end of an exciting but largely trouble-free first lap, and it's Thomas Preining that leads, but it's not for the want of trying. Luca Engstler gave that a real big go, didn't he? And almost, well, he did get the lead, but it was all too brief.
Oh, he'll be kicking himself about turn 2, won't he? Had a nose in front briefly. Ben Durr, Finn Wiebelhaus still going wheel to wheel at the back of the pack, but what a start for Kelvin van der Linde. Also, Arjun Maini, like the scolded cat, working his way forwards up into 3rd place. He's a driver who had low expectations for this weekend. Here's another look at that start. Everybody found out heading into turn 1. Now, Luca Engstler with that nose in front into the hotel turn. It's such a technical turn, though, isn't it? Goes deep on the entry, and that just allows Preining to come sailing through.
A lot of different lines you can take through there as well. Lots of times this weekend we've seen cars go really wide through there, and you think, oh, they're going to come off, but it's actually just as quick around the outside. But like, he carried so much speed, and he was really tight on the entrance, look, and that sent him just wide enough for Thomas Preining to go, oh, wave you through, go on, have a go if you want, I'll just get you back on the way out of the corner. Here's what Tommy said.
You fucking legend.
Jolly what?
Yes, I think that was well done, Thomas.
Yes.
You've done a quite good
jolly
job
well
there.
done, chap.
Patrick Arkenau, who's the team manager, but also the race engineer for Thomas Preining, was positive about his driver's recovery of the race lead there. Apologies for anybody that may be offended by the colourful language. I think that's our first €1 in our swear box of the year. Whoa, that was,
don't collect it.
That was wide, wasn't it, from Mirko Bortolotti? And this is what you can see if you're at the back. Nothing, because there's a dust screen, and we've seen that quite a lot today. Eyes wide down in the garages. It's worth mentioning, without going into any boring detail, that a balance of performance change overnight means that the Ferraris, the BMWs and the Aston Martins all have a bit more boost available than they had yesterday. So it could be a better race this for BMWs. Remember, it's Schubert's home race this. Look at this side-by-side, Riccardo Feller and Matteo Cairoli, and Feller's gone through. So Cairoli had a bit of a disastrous first lap yesterday. He's complaining about understeer and oversteer, the team said. Lost a load of places on lap 1 yesterday. Better start today from 8th, but he is already down to 9th. Let's get team radio.
Good race start, Luca. 6 laps until pit stop window. Try to stay close to Preining.
No swearing in that one.
No, they're way more civilised. But 6 laps to the window opening. It doesn't come round quickly on a Sunday, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is, I mean, this is where we debuted the new Sunday race system with 2 pit stops, 2 mandatory pit stops, because this was the opening round of the championship last year. Big fan of it, really enjoy it. And I think the teams really enjoy it as well, despite the extra pressure it loads onto them. The fact is that they can really contribute to the overall race result. But it was so good yesterday, as Adam Conwell was saying to me, we did a 6.6 second pit stop yesterday, and we're only like the 6th quickest pit stop. We couldn't believe it. So the levels are going up all the time, aren't they?
Yeah, when you're disappointed with 6.6, you know you're having a good day. Wish my local was as quick as that. Well, Thomas Preining, really, once again, despite all that extra weight on board, that extra 20 kilos, has stamped his authority on the race at the moment. 1.173, but of course we've got a long way to go. But he certainly looks to be in control. It's a very similar situation to yesterday. Luca Engstler in that 2nd place. Maini, for my money, is looking pretty racy in 3rd. Marco Wittmann very much in touch as well, and keeping an eye on Kelvin van der Linde. As you mentioned earlier, was a bit frustrated after quali. Felt as though he could be up with his teammate. Well, he is up with his teammate now, but still a couple of places off a podium position. But look, there is the leader coming towards you. That is what 1.163 looks like. I think he's opening it up a little bit more. He has, yes, 1.306. So Thomas Preining really in control of this at the moment.
Bortolotti in the TGI by GRT Lamborghini Temerario. He's just done the absolute best first sector time, though. He's in 6th place, the golden black car, number 63, the Italian. We've got Engel behind him in 7th. 8th is Feller, 9th is Cairoli, 10th is Jules Gounon. But let's see where he's going to use his better tyres, because it might not be right now. Remember, if you were qualified in the top 10, you have to start the race on the tyres in which you qualified, for everybody outside of the top 10 in qualifying, it is a free choice what you put on for the start. News of Lucas Auer, and it's not good because he's gone backwards in the race. He was only 16th on the grid after his very rare excursion in qualifying this morning, and he's gone back down to 17th place. Nicky Tim lost a place off the start but has gained one, but he's out of the points as well at the moment, back in 18th position. So 2 of the top 3 in the championship are out of the points. Maro Engel, he's only 7th as well.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. He's dropped a couple of places as Maro Engel, so maybe the Mercs not looking as strong today as they did yesterday. So Maro Engel in that 7th place. Mirko Bortolotti, who was, I think, fairly subdued in his interview with Verena on the grid, so clearly he wasn't brimming with confidence, but 6th place, that's pretty good going, I should say, although he can see the fellow Lamborghini with Luca Engster at the wheel in 2nd place at the moment.
The thing is, you've got to remember about Mirko Bortolotti, he's a winner. Like, he's a born winner, and he wants to win championships and win races. So, you know, he's never going to be, and quite rightly, never going to be really ecstatic about being 6th place, is he? It is, however, I mean, yesterday it's an improvement, isn't it? 5th place, actually, was his best race finish since he was on the podium in the final round of 2024 when he won the championship at Hockenheim. Hasn't been on the podium since then, so you know it's definitely going in the right direction. It's certainly going in the right direction for the Amp Sportsline team and Red Bull Amped car. Luca Engster has qualified in the top 3 twice now. Of course, he got his first podium for a couple of years yesterday. Didn't make the best of starts yesterday, dropped behind Maro Engel, went from 2nd to 3rd, made a rocket ship start today though. Oh, Jules Gounon, he's been a bit ragged in that Mercedes this weekend, hasn't he?
Yeah, every time I see a cloud of dust, I think, oh, where's Jules Gounon? He has been exploring the outer limits of the circuit for most of the weekend, and it just shows how hard he is pushing, how hard he is driving, because Jules Gounon is a very precise and very quick driver, but he's trying to extract everything out of that car that is possible, and you can see that by the regular dust storms that he kicks up.
Yeah, it may just be that the car is just not quite handling for him, or the tyres at this stage of the race aren't ideal for him. Much lower temperatures in qualifying this morning than we had yesterday, and the qualifying times were quite a lot slower, so 6/10 slower for pole position today than it was yesterday, even though they all had new tyres on again in qualifying this morning. As it stands, by my maths, because Maro Engel is only 7th, championship leader, Nicky Tim 2nd in the championship, he's out of the points, Lucas Auer 3rd in the championship, is out of the points, Thomas Preining 4th in the championship, he's leading the race. He's going to get 25 points. I reckon that puts him up to 2nd place in the championship if you were to end the race now with 123 points, just 11 points behind the championship leader, Maro Engel. But there's a massive long way to go as we have a look at Ben Durr and Thierry Vermeulen going toe-to-toe and throwing the McLaren over the curbs and forcing then the Ferrari to, well, he had to go off the road, Thierry Vermeulen, because there was no road available, was there? So Thierry kind of had to go straight on there. Didn't really gain an advantage, you would say. But, yeah, quite an unusual place to see an overtake that.
Yeah, we've had some warnings for track limits in the GT4 category over this weekend on this sequence of corners.
That's a great shot.
I don't think Vermeulen will get track limits warning for that. He did well just to keep it out of the bollards, really. But as you say, there was certainly no advantage gained, and he kind of had nowhere else to go, really, did he?
So that was up to 14th place for Ben Durr. Thierry Vermeulen is that last of the point scorers at the moment in that Ferrari in 15th. So Preining leads by 1.1 seconds, but Luca Engster has just done the fastest lap of the race and was 2/10 quicker.
The quickest car in the field.
There you go.
2 laps until the pit stop window.
2 laps to the pit stop window. You're the quickest driver out there. That's a lovely message to receive. Arjun Maini going well in 3rd place. He's 1.4 seconds behind Luca Engster and about half a second up on Marco Wittmann's BMW. Marco's teammate Kelvin van der Linde is still breathing down his net luck in the gold and red Schubert BMW, number 3. And that's Bortolotti 6th, Engel 7th, Fella 8th, 9th Cairoli and 10th Gounon. And into the pits we go.
So, first to blink, Nicky Tim into the pit. So what's your prediction? Is Thomas Preining going to come in early or late? I reckon Luca Engster might be quite early in to try and get a bit of open space.
Possibly. I mean, he's not been held up by Preining, and he's going well, isn't he? It's the fastest lap of the race, and Preining's just done an absolute best sector as well. So maybe not. You've got to also work out what everybody else is doing. They've got to react to that as well. It's a bigger pit window here, but you still got to avoid slower cars coming out in front of you and getting in your way. So he drops the speed down as he crosses that white line to the pit lane speed limit, which is 50 kilometres an hour. And they'll change the rears first, then the fronts. A long wheelbase car, this. So you've got further to travel, couple of steps. And it sounds silly, but a couple of steps, couple of strides to get from the back to the front, rather than one leap on some of the short wheelbase cars. Exactly. When you're looking at these, and it unsettles you as well, doesn't it? When you're doing a couple of steps. And
I like the way you're reenacting that in the commentary boxes. Chris is bouncing across the commentary box, pretending he's changing a wheel.
Doing my calf stretches at the moment, But it all makes these slight differences, doesn't it? Also, things like the wheel nuts are different types of wheel nuts on different cars, different weight wheel nuts. Apparently, the wheel nut they've got on the BMWs is the one they had years and years and years ago on the Z4, and it's just been a really good one. Other cars, I think it's the McLaren, has a bigger, heavier wheel nut. Well, that means you need a bigger wheel gun, and the wheel gun is heavier, and it all slows it down by a fraction of a second.
That's all very valid, isn't it? And there is the McLaren pit. Durham Motorsport getting ready. You quite often see the mechanics with a spare wheel nut strapped to their arm in case they drop one. Right, Bastian Boos, Finn Wiebelhaus, Thierry Vermeulen, and Lucas Auer all coming in early in the pit window for their first stop.
Yeah, Auer had to do something different, didn't he? Well done, Come To You Racing as well, who are impressed with their pit stops, because they were kind of in the top half in terms of their pit stops last year, having had no real experience of performance pit stops before coming into DTM. They're now one of the best. They're leading the pit stop challenge, and Nicky Tim's pit stop was 6.1 seconds, which is excellent. You can see, can't you, what Adam was saying about the camber there on the pit lane, so it does slightly unsettle the footing. I hadn't noticed that until he said it.
No, I've never noticed that before. Some interesting insight there. We need to talk more about that, don't we? Right, well, there's Wiebelhaus getting his tyre change done as well. He's going to squeeze out in front of Thierry Vermeulen. All nice and polite there at the moment. I'll see if it's still like that at the end of the race. And Lucas Auer. So that's the four that have got the job done. 6.6, 6.3, 6.3, 6.6. So all roughly in the same ballpark. The quickest, Lucas Auer. No, sorry, Nicky Tim. 6.1 for him. Right. So he's the quickest so far.
Really good again, though, aren't they? All in the 6 seconds. That's amazing. So here comes Special Agent 007 Nicky Tim in the background, though. Oh, he's got to be right by Lucas Auer. Auer's got to get his tyres up to temperature. The Aston Martin. Well, he's gained one place at least then, because he was behind Auer. They were 16th and 18th before the pit stop. So that's helped, because even though it wasn't a bad pit stop for Lucas Auer, half a second quicker stationary time for Nicky Tim. You see how much of a difference it makes. So he's gained in one place, and 1 or 2 points better off in the championship. End of the year, Auer's going to be one of his rivals for the title. It might just add up. So great job by the Come To You Racing squad. Right, in then comes Jules Gounon. Now, he might start to fly after this if they've saved his best tyres for this stint. So rears first, then fronts, and Winward drop him away. Pit stop challenge winners last year. They've lost a couple of key members this year. It's okay though, 7.2.
Mapelli 8.2. That's the slowest of the weekend so far. No, it isn't. The second slowest of the weekend so far for Marco Mapelli. There's so much pressure on the crews here. They've got to do it twice over as well. Bender off the jack, squeezing in front of Marco Mapelli. Mapelli, well, I think we just about get away with that being an unsafe release, but that was fairly close, wasn't it?
Yeah, very. We've seen that a few times, haven't we? And we might see it again before the end of the race. Yeah, that was tight. Oh, no. Yeah, now that car is wobbling around. Suspension, is it? Problem?
Or could it be? He's just come out of the pits, though, hasn't he?
Puncture. Oh, yeah, right rear. Right rear puncture. Oh, so, that's 2 DNFs for Finn, who was one of the huge stars, wasn't he, of the Norris Ring, Brian? But yesterday he managed to pick up a piece of Bender's delaminated tyre, didn't he?
Got it caught in the propeller, so that'll be the prop shaft, I presume. But yeah, that created a burning smell in the cockpit and slowed progress. It's quite scary when you're in the cockpit and you can smell burning. Thierry Vermeulen is not done with Marco Mapelli yet, is he? Well, Nicky Tim is just going to come steaming through on the inside of both of them. But this is a fight that started in the pit lane.
3 abreast. And so that's 3 places Nicky Tim has gained in this phase of the race, isn't it? Because he was behind all of them. Vermeulen had been in 15th place battling with Bender, if you remember. Bender was 14th, and he's about to get past him as well.
Wow.
So, he's got himself up into the points, and comfortably into the points here, Nicky Tim, by coming in first and having an excellent pit stop.
And also having the right wheels on the right corner of each car as well. Timo Glock is into the pits at the moment. There's another look at this. Was there a little bit of contact? I think Mapelli might have got into the right rear of the Vermeulen. You can be careful doing that, because you can pick up a puncture or give a puncture doing that. Everybody escapes, but I think this is personal.
Yeah, and it's not the first time we've seen a Lamborghini and a Ferrari coming together of late, is it? Right. So
what you mean?
Yeah, Norris ring. And not very happy Matteo Cairoli, I seem to remember. Matteo, by the way, was one that was saying to me yesterday, I would absolutely love it if it rained, because we're just struggling a bit with the car this weekend here. If it rains, I'll be really, really happy. I like it in the wet here, he said. So.
And he's in at the moment as well for his stop, as is Kelvin van der Linde.
Yeah, and we know Emil Fryer leading the pit stop challenge. They've had the best pit stops on average and been in the top 3 most pit stops this year. Their fastest 2 pit stops yesterday with the 5.9, the second sub-6 second pit stop of the year. That was for Thierry Vermeulen, and a 6 dead, just over anyway, a few thousandths over for Matteo Cairoli. It's Tom Callender fending off his teammate here, Lucas Auer, the 2 Landgraf drivers. Right, Matteo Cairoli has been released, and it was a good one again, 6.5 seconds, 6.6 for Schubert, who are also excellent at their pit stops, third in the pit stop challenge at the moment. So Kelvin van der Linde released 6.6 seconds was his, which keeps him ahead of the Italian. Nicola Bartz had his pit stop in the background for Come To You Racing as well. Also good, 6.8 seconds.
Still got 7 cars that have an appointment with their garage in the next 8 minutes or so, including Thomas Preining and Luca Engstler, who we ride on board with on the left-hand side of your screen. 1.344. So as he was doing yesterday, Thomas Preining opening up a gap and then just kind of holding it, but still lots more to come. Mauro Engel is in as well. No, he's not. It's Argemini who's in as well. Beg your pardon. He's into the pits, as is Marco Wittmann and also Ricardo Fallo. So 3 more of the front runners into the pits for their stop.
Thomas Preining in the background, stuck behind. He's just got past him. The Aston Martin on cold tyres of Nicola Bart. So this is what you got to think. When do we come in? Is this going to be a problem if we're getting stuck in traffic with cars on slow tyres or cold tyres? So these come in now. Miney coming in. Keeping an eye as well on Jules Gounon. He wasn't that far away. Now, Kelvin van der Linde was 5th, wasn't he, before the pit stop window, and Jules Gounon was 10th. But by the time this lap ends, with Kelvin coming back out on his cold tyres, I don't think he's going to be too far away. Cairoli in between them as well. Miney is staying ahead of Wittmann. Fella, though, he's way closer to them. That must have been a really good pit stop for Fella. Yeah, it was 6.1, and only 7 dead for Wittmann, which again is not terrible, but the standard has been so high this weekend that, you know, he's lost the best part of a second there, and that is why Fella is suddenly involved in this battle. Right, frantic action down in the pit lane. There to give us some insight is Verena Vriet.
I've got Finn Wiebelhaus here. Finn, what a disastrous weekend for you, and 2 times nothing was your fault. Talk us through what happened here. You had a puncture and you said nobody hit you, it just happened like that?
Yeah, unfortunately after a great pit stop from our team, I suffered a puncture on my outlap, so we still need to analyze what exactly happened, and yeah, for sure frustrating, because I felt like I had the pace. I had quite a solid start, good pace, catching up to the guys in front, so it's a shame.
Big shame. Thank you so much, Finn. Back to you.
Yeah, real shame. Brilliant performances from him so far this season. 2 podiums for the 19-year-old. Luca Engstler in, keeping an eye on Jules Gounon as well, who's right behind Matteo Cairoli now. So he's going to be challenging for a top 6 finish.
That was a difficult stop for Luca Engstler, 9.4. I think they had problems with the left front.
Yeah, so that's cost him, well, you'd say really, given the standard today, about 3 seconds that compared to the average. So it was because of a trouble in the pit stop that he gained second place yesterday on Mauro Engel, wasn't it? So it might cost him a place now overall. Let's have a look. Yeah, absolutely right.
So we see here, and it's the left front that they had trouble getting off.
Couldn't get it off, could they?
Yeah, so
you've got to be so precise lining those wheel guns up, haven't you? If you are millimetres out, it won't connect, and you're trying to do this in a rush as well.
When you see the sparks flying, you know there's been a problem when they start to machine the wheel nut with the wheel gun. But he's away, so he's all good. Our leading stopper at the moment, but of course we've still got 3 big names yet to come in.
Gounon's got past Cairoli as well, so, and he and Fella are the ones that have put themselves in the picture here for top 6 finishes, haven't they, after that first round of pit stops? They've both massively gained out of that. And Nicky Tim, of course, massively gained as well, so we'll see where he ends up, but having been 18th, Nicky's going to be well up into the points. I think he'll be in the top 10, but it'll be somewhere in around 13th place, something like that, I think, when it all settles down. Right, in comes the championship leader. Trouble with the front left yesterday, no trouble today. So that looked better for Maro Engel, and for Winward, 6.5 seconds. That is more like it from last year's Pit Stop Challenge champions, and Maro Engel will be pleased about that. But we've got another pit stop to go, so it was always a bit of a worry for the drivers, because all the good work that they do on track can be undone here. But remember, this is a team sport. It is not just about the driver, it is about what everybody does to prepare the car in the pit stops, strategy. So you know, they all play their part. Speaking to Emil Fry, they love things like the Teams Championship and the Pit Stop Challenge because they want to be the best team of mechanics. It's really important to them. I mean, you know, people speak about the Drivers' Championship, but they're just as important, aren't they? The Teams Championship and the Pit Stop Challenge.
You see races won and lost in the pits, and these teams practice so hard all week long and into the night to get it right, and it's great when they get some kind of reward for that. Right, well, out of the pits comes Maro Engel. He'll say, I'm weaving to get heat in the tyres. Luca Engster will be impatient to get past. So Maro Engel, the leading stopper at the moment. We've still got two. Make that one to come in, because our race leader, Thomas Preining, is now into the pits. That hands the lead to Mirko Bortolotti, who'll still have to come in. But look at Maro Engel. He's made that Mercedes really wide. This could be very significant at the end. Luca Engstler is behind the Mercedes.
Yeah, and that really good pit stop from Engel is going to move him up the order, that's for sure. He was 7th before the pit stop window. He's now ahead of Engstler, who was 2nd. He might lose some places as he gets his tyres up to temperature. Away then goes Thomas Preining. 7 seconds dead. It's okay. It's not their best, but it's still decent enough. But of course, he had that lead, so he takes the pressure off the pit stop crew a little bit in that, you know, can afford to lose 1 or 2 tenths rather than make a big mistake. But it's going to be tighter than it was, I think. Here they all come in the background then. So Preining comes out. He's well clear, of course, but they're going to catch him up as he gets his tyres up to temperature. And Engel, crucially, look, he's kept them all behind him, hasn't he, on his outlap. So this is really big news for the championship leader, because he, I think, has propelled himself effectively into 2nd place with all of this, if he can just fend them off. But the longer it goes on, the easier it will be for him to fend them off, because his tyres should be more or less there now and in that window. So Engel and the team have done a fantastic job there. Bortolotti has still got to come in, or is in at the moment, but there is effectively your race leader Preining, and Engel from 7th to 2nd place. Marco Wittmann trying to get past Arjun Maini. Good luck with that. Maini fends him off. Remember, Wittmann really ill at the moment. He's lost 5 kilograms of weight over the course of the last few days, so he's really digging deep here, the 2014-26 champion. He's going to be dead on his feet tomorrow, I would think, but the adrenaline is getting him through this at the moment, and he's doing a superb job. Gutsy, as you would expect from Marco Wittmann, one of the most determined drivers you'll see out there. So Preining is the leader, Engel is in 2nd place, Engstler is down to 3rd, Maini is kept 4th, Wittmann in 5th, and then it's Van der Linde in 6th place. 7th place, we've got Feller, so he's gained in the pit stops. 8th is Gounon. He gained a couple of places in that pit stop window. And then Kai Rowley, and Boos has also done pretty well out of that. He's going to be up into, well, not quite 10th place, because we've got this one last car to come out, haven't we? He's going to be in the right in the mix, because he was 6th beforehand, wasn't he? So he's going to be right in the middle of the pack here. Wait for some defensive driving here then from the 2024 champion. He comes out in 2nd. If he can keep them all behind him, he's got a chance here of a podium, you know. And we've got another round of pit stops to come. What was his pit stop?
It wasn't especially fast, 9.2.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good in-lap then, that's for sure. Right, Mirko, what can you do? Can you keep them at bay? He weaves this way, then that to try and keep them behind. But it's like trying to keep the ocean behind, isn't it? They're all coming after him. He can't stop them coming. All he can do is just focus on getting those tyres up to temperature in that Lamborghini. He can't hit the apex look because he turns right. Nothing happens as the tyres still haven't got the grip. You've still got Marco Wittmann breathing down the neck of Arjun Maini. And Maro Engel knows that it's now or never. He needs to get past Mirko Bortolotti. And if he can get past Mirko, that will help Maro as well, because the other is a bit further back. And Mirko will be able to hold them up. And Maro will be able to make good his escape, but he can't get through here at the end of the straight either. And again, it's getting harder and harder. It's going to have to wait until they get down towards the first corner, Brian.
Yeah, I think Maro Engel is going to struggle here. I think Bortolotti's done enough to do it on the cold tyres, but can they do it on pace? Can Maro Engel get alongside the Temerario out of turn 14, out along the pit straight? So is he going to make a challenge? We're on board with Luca Engstler at the moment, looking at the battle unfolding in front of him. But Mirko Bortolotti has pulled off the scoop of the race, really, up into 2nd place through the pit window sequence.
He's done the overcut there. He must have put in a blinding couple of laps while they're all doing their pit stops, because as you say, the pit stop, he's ended up losing a few seconds. He must have been mighty before that. So fantastic effort from Mirko Bortolotti. He's quite good, isn't he? Right, this was the issue in the pits, front left by the looks of it, wasn't it? So
he must be wondering what on earth he could have done had he not had that problem in the pits. He would have been even closer to Thomas Preining.
He would have been far behind at all, would he?
Yeah. As it stands, Preining has a fairly monstrous gap, 3.1 seconds over Mirko Bortolotti. So Preining really in control at the moment.
Must be a nice feeling, mustn't it, to be somebody like Thomas Preining, where you know, especially on a Sunday, you know you've got a great pit stop crew who are so good, are so consistent. It's not a worry for you. There must be some drivers out there thinking, oh, is this going to work? I can't do anything about it, but is this going to be a problem for me? But, you know, you do your job. You know they're going to do their job. And looking good for Thomas. Remember, he's got 20 kilograms of success ballast on the car as well. And it's not like all the Porsches are up there, is it? You know what I mean? It's not. He was easily the best of the Porsches in qualifying this morning. So, you know, sometimes people say, people are only winning or qualifying on pole because of BOP and balance of performance. Well, where are the other Porsches then? He's doing a fantastic job. Also battling away is Ricardo Feller, as you can see there. Bit of trading of paintwork there. Jules Gounon still stuck behind him at the moment. But look, the other one who made massive progress was Nicky Tim. He's ended up 12th after all of that. He was 18th before that pit stop window started. Showing how much pace there really is on that Aston Martin. So that's really good progress from him. Yeah, Jules Gounon, he's already under investigation for the incident with Matteo Cairoli earlier on. So he's certainly getting his elbows out. Ricardo Feller just in front of him there in 8th place. So we're settling down. We're in that middle stint now between the pit windows. Thomas Preining leads the way by a little over 3 seconds. So Mirko Bortolotti has taken about 3/10 out of the race leader on the last lap. Whether that's to do with tyres getting into the window or whether Bortolotti has more pace, but he's got Murray Engel keeping him honest in the background. Then there is Luca Engster. Argemini looks to have fended off Marco Wittmann for the time being, but I don't think Wittmann is done quite yet. We're under 3 seconds now, the gap. So Mirko Bortolotti now starting to close in on Thomas Preining. The last lap, 125.629. So about a 10th quicker, Mirko Bortolotti on 2/10 quicker. In fact, 4/10 quicker. The timing screen is just updated.
We are still P1. You see the group behind you battling. Quite some shift of positions.
Yeah, just what you want to hear, isn't it? They're all battling. You carry on. They're all holding each other up behind. That's perfect for Thomas Preining. As I make it, he's got Maro Engel on 141 points. Nicky Tim, because he's up to 12th now, 125, back to second in the championship as it stands, and Thomas Preining would be on 123 in third. Lucas Sauer is the only one in the top 8 in the championship who's out of the points in this race, so he's dropped down to 4th place on 119.
The timing screen had just updated on the previous lap. It was 4/10 quicker for Mirko Bortolotti on the previous lap. As they'd gone through the various interval sections, it kept increasing, so we're up to 4/10 quicker on the previous lap. So Bortolotti is definitely closing in on Thomas Preining at this stage of the race. So anybody who thinks that Preining is just going to disappear into the distance, I think Bortolotti has got something to say about that.
Not a driver who's been able to save tyres from yesterday either. Finished the race, of course. Finished in a strong 5th place, did Mirko Bortolotti. So looking for his first podium since the final round of the 2024 season at Hockenheim. Borto in fine form. Vote for your driver of the day, presented by PME Legend by scanning in the QR code on the screen. And Thomas Preining goes through. His lap times are 125.168, 124.9 for Bortolotti. Couple of tenths quicker again. Pretty good as well from Engel in third, 125.0. He's also quicker than the race leaders. The gap from first to third, he's now just over 3.3 seconds. You can see Thomas Preining about to head into that left-hander at turn 3. The left-hand hairpin there, which is the end of sector 1 through Aston Road, and then they get up to around about 200 kilometres an hour before they go into the triple left-hander. You can see this exit from turn 3 as we trail with our drone footage Marco Wittmann, and this is the triple left-hand section I was talking about as they go through 4, 5 and 6, and then straight into a right at 7, which is another hairpin. They go through there, one of the slower corners at just 90 kilometres an hour. Get a replay of another nibble of a BMW on a Ford, I reckon. This just trying to find a way through, just grazing the right rear corner of Arjun Maini.
I was just looking at the timing screen on the last lap. All of the top half of the field were in the 125s, with the exception of Mirko Bortolotti. The second half of the field were all in the 124s, with the exception of Lucas Auer, who is in the 125s. So was that Marco? Yeah, it was Lucas Auer is in the 125s. So when you put that onto paper, that means that the back is catching the front, which is quite fascinating, really.
And when has, and we don't know this information, when has Jorgunon got his best set of tyres? Is he going to same from the end then, maybe? Which would then make you think maybe he's going to do an early pit stop when we get to that short pit stop window after 39 minutes of the race. But 9th place, back to 9th position after that tussle he had with Ricardo Fella. So he's just behind him as they come into the turn 2 hotel curve. Kai Rowley, then Boos just behind as well, and then Nicky Tim looking rapid still, isn't he? The Aston Martin trying to get past Bastian Boos. Bastian got the fastest lap of the race yesterday, just about closes the door as we get some team radio. Hopefully one day.
We have to get silence from Team on team radio. He probably hasn't got a lot to say at the moment. Where is he at the
13th.
moment? He's doing all right. 13th, not as good as yesterday, but still showing good. He was one of the drivers in the 124s. Now look at that, the rain radar. I'm looking up at the sky, and wow, this could throw. Yeah, well, that's better than any kind of technology. Stick your hand out the window, then you'll find out what the weather's doing.
Yeah, I can tell you that everybody at Emil Fry Racing are currently doing a rain dance. Currently up and down trying to get it to rain, because it feels like that's what they need. Mirko Bortolotti, do you remember when he spoke to Verena on the grid? I hope it rains. We could do with it, he said. We need it because we're going to be struggling otherwise. Well, it's not raining, Mirko, and you're second in the race. So maybe he doesn't want it to rain.
Yeah,
you're all right. Don't want it to rain anymore. Right, is he continuing to close that gap? It's just over 1.5 seconds now, and the answer is a 126.9 for Preining, a 126.1 for Bortolotti. He's taken 8/10 out of Preining, and the rain has started to come down. And of course, the first one to get to every corner, a voyage into the unknown, is going to be the 2023 champion Thomas Preining, swiftly followed by the 2024 champion Mirko Bortolotti. But is it raining enough, and will it rain for long enough to warrant coming in and making an extra pit stop and putting the wet tyres on? Because it's got to be properly wet for those wets to work. If it's only damp, they'll massively overheat. You've got to wait 6 minutes before the pit window opens. So if you come in now, you're still going to have to come in again during the pit stop window.
And of course, if you put on wets and it dries up, then you've got to come back in and put slicks back on. So even when the pit window is open, there's an element of risk in there as well. So this has thrown a real random element into the race. There's some fairly large drops on the windows. The teams are looking fairly relaxed. There's the wet weather tyres there, sat on the floor in the Manthey garage, ready to go. But at the moment, wow, this is going to be really, really fascinating. 21.5 minutes of this race to go. The pit window coming up in a little around 6 minutes. But what is the weather going to do?
We never get this sort of terrible weather when we come in here April, do we? It's always lovely and dry. We come here in the summer and it's raining, but is it raining enough? I'm not sure it is yet. What it does mean is these drivers are going to have to really use their feel and skill and instinct, because they've no idea what the grip level is going to be like under braking. Do they have to brake earlier? Do they have to turn in earlier? Do they have to be a bit more progressive on the throttle coming out of the corners? And do they even have to back off too much? Because it's going to look worse to them than it does in real life when you're charging along at 240 kilometres an hour down the straight and you've got all those specks of rain coming on the windscreen. It looks like it might be quite bad, but of course it may not be that much, and it probably isn't everywhere. It's not around the whole lap, I don't think. Still looks pretty dry. There are 1 or 2 windscreen wipers coming on now. That gap continuing to come down. Bortolotti is absolutely flying. Preining maybe has got his worst set of tyres on for this stint, and that might be catching him out. Of course, he's also got the weight on the car, remember, 20 kilograms. That wears the tyres out more and more, doesn't it? All the extra weight you've got to brake, all the extra weight you've got to drag out of the corners. And Preining, no doubt about it, he's struggling at the moment because consistently for the last few laps, Bortolotti has been coming after him. He's only 1.2 seconds behind now.
Yeah, about 0.4 of a second quicker on the last lap. So it keeps coming down. That gap does. Mirko Bortolotti giving it absolutely everything. On board with Marco Wittmann in 6th place. He'll probably be disappointed with that after such a strong starting position. He's still got Arjun Maini up ahead of him. But everybody now just looking to the skies, trying to decide what to do. The rain to me looks like it was just a little shower. It looks to me like it's backed off a little bit, and certainly doesn't look like the surface is wet in any way at all at the moment.
No, I don't think it's there yet, is it? But it could quickly change.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to gamble, it's going to be somebody with nothing to lose, isn't it? Somebody at the back of the field. If you are somebody like Maro Engel, you're thinking, well, I'm ahead of my rivals, really, my closest rivals in the championship, apart from Thomas Priding. I'm not going to do anything different to them. I mean, if we all do it, we'll make the same mistake and we all lose out. So it kind of depends where you are in the race, where you are in the championship.
Okay, Tommy, the window will open in 3 laps. The window will open in 3 laps. I will keep you posted. You are doing very well. You're doing very well.
The next question is, Brian, okay, the pit stop window opens, but do you go wets or do you go dries? Yeah. And then do you wait? Because the longer you wait, the more obvious it's going to be what you do. If you come in right at the start of the pit window, put more slicks on, and then it rains, you've got to come in again. But if you push it right to the end of the pit window, at least you've given yourself the biggest opportunity to just, you have to come in then to just do the one pit stop.
And of course, if they all leave it till late in the pit window, you're going to have a traffic jam as well, which is quite significant because it is such a short window. At the moment, I don't think wets are even in the equation. I think the rain has stopped. The track looks dry to me, and although there is a few droplets on the camera lens, I don't think there's anywhere near enough to even consider wets.
There's Ricardo Fella with Jules breathing down his neck, the green Porsche. Oh, there's a bit of car that's not attached to a car anymore. That could be an issue. Who's this come off? I think we can find out here. Oh, it's either a bit of Mercedes or a bit of Porsche.
Grill, isn't it?
I think it's a bit of Mercedes,
yes.
It's crumbling around in that Mercedes, but he won't give in here. Podium finisher at this circuit last year, Jules Gounon, still looking for his first podium of this season. Feels like he's quicker than Ricardo at the moment, but cannot find a way through. It's difficult to overtake here. That is for sure. For the first time in about 6 laps, Priding was quicker than Bortolotti on that last lap. He's got the gap from just over 1 second to just under 1.4.
So, yeah, it was a 124.916. Of course, he's got a nice open track in front of him. Mirko Bortolotti was a 125.209, so about 0.3 quicker on that lap. So it is yo-yoing, and it might well be that Mirko Bortolotti's tyres are now starting to look a little bit worse for wear, as indeed is that bollard that's taken an absolute hammering this weekend.
The quickest driver on the last lap was Maro Engel, quicker than anybody else out there on that last lap with a 124.895, which means he's got to within, 0.6 of a second of Bortolotti now. If he can have a better pit stop, great chance to get himself up to second place during the next pit window. Marco Wittmann, I would think he's he's sick anyway, because he's physically sick, but he's sick of the sight of the back of that Mustang of mine. I would think he's been stuck behind it all the way through, hasn't he? Just cannot find a way past Arjun, who is driving epically smoothly, isn't he? And he's just not making any mistakes at all. Driving the perfect race here, the Indian driver, and doing a superb job. He's on real good form here. He hasn't been out of the top 10 since the second race, the second weekend of the season at Zandvoort. Since then, Arjun has had a 9th, a 4th, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th place, and he's in the top 5 again.
Every time I see him, he's smiling, he's happy, he's relaxed. I think a relaxed racing driver is always a dangerous racing driver, and Arjun really showing some of the best form ever. Was that Ricardo Fella or was that Jules Gounon who created that little dust storm there? Yeah. But both of them still pushing hard. Right, we are 10 seconds away from the second pit window opening, the final pit window of the weekend. Team Radio, Mirko Bortolotti.
Now again, racing. Yeah, do what you can. 4 minutes.
Struggling a little bit, isn't he, now? But boy, oh boy, he's done a good job. So I'll repeat my question from yesterday. We had Luca Engstler catching the race leader at one point. Did we ever believe after the Red Bull Ring that a Lamborghini Temerario a few months later get to Oschersleben, middle of the season, is going to be challenging for a race win? But that is exactly what Mirko is doing. A bit ragged there in the background from the other Temerario that's going well. Luca Engstler in 4th place, just kicking up the dust as he made his way out of the penultimate corner at turn 13. Right, Matteo Cairoli coming in to make a pit stop. Bender following suit. So they have gone early, these two. I think that makes sense to try and do something a bit different because Cairoli was just stuck in the pack, wasn't he?
So in he comes, keeping to the speed limit, the final pit stop of the weekend. So the teams will be poised and ready. Everybody's got to come in the next 5 minutes, remember. So maybe a good idea coming in early when it's not going to be a traffic jam. In the background, looks like Nicola Bart coming in as well to come to you racing on board with Bender, keeping to that painfully slow 50 kilometers an hour in the speed limit. Then hit the marks. Emil Fry have done this thousands of times. They look relaxed. They look chilled. The air jack goes in, the car rises up, the backs are done, the fronts are done, he's off the jacks. That was a good stop.
6.2. They're so good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Fantastic job by the Swiss team. And away he goes, and every fraction helps, especially when you're stuck in a train of cars. So now, head down for Matteo, former championship leader, of course. Matteo Cairoli, a two-time race winner already in his first season. This is 7 years since he raced here at this circuit in the GT Masters Championship. Had his first ever racing cars away from Italy here at Oschersleben as well, when he was racing in the German Formula 3 Championship. Likes the place, but wants a bit of rain. I don't think he's quite going to get enough, though, is he? So now it's head down, banging a couple of qualifying laps, and last second Nicky Tim comes in and Timo Glock comes in as well just behind him, and there is Francois Verbiste, the team principal at Come To You Racing, and he is now going to oversee from the pit wall what hopefully from his point of view is going to be another mega stop. If they can rescue a top 10 finish out of this from 18th on the grid around a track where it's hard to pass, they'll be pretty satisfied with their job, won't they?
I think they'd be over the moon if they could do that. Of course, Nicky Tim with a back-to-back win from pole position last time out at the Norris Ring, and here he comes into the pit lane. The lollipops indicating from apt for Marco Mappelli to hit the marks. There's Tom Callender, Timo Glock there as well. The teams get to work. Still no sign of the leader coming in yet. Still got 3¼ minutes to do that. Out comes Nicky Tim. That was a good stop, wasn't it?
Yep, 6.2 again. Fantastic job by Come To You Racing. Really good. So that gives him a chance, doesn't it? He's certainly ahead, plenty ahead of Timo Glock, that is for sure. And Mappelli's got ahead of Glock as well. Callender just behind in the background, the 18-year-old. So really good job done by Come To You Racing. They've just got Nicola Bart. I know been in, hasn't he, already, Nicola Bart? So their job is done as far as pit stops are concerned, and they've done it very, very well indeed. So 6.2 from them. Right, I'm not surprised. Marco Wittmann comes in. I don't want to follow Argentini anymore, he says. And in comes Ricardo Fella, and probably to the annoyance of Jules Gounon, he's still stuck behind him even on the way into the pit lane. Bastien Boost comes in with them as well. Here comes Matteo Cairoli with his tyres up to temperature, trying to send one around the outside here of Nicky Tim, almost running out of road onto the curbs. He's still on the outside line here for the left-hander coming up. You've got to be brave to go around the outside of Nicky Tim even when he's on cold tyres, but Matteo is brave. Great move, gets the job done.
Brilliant stuff. So Cairoli becomes the leading stopper, but still plenty more to come. So we're keeping one eye on Marco Wittmann. We're on board with Mirko Bortolotti on the left-hand side of your screen as well. So Marco Wittmann into the pit lane, into the pit box he comes. Ricardo Fella, the Manthey crew, their hearts will be racing as the car hits the marks up on the jacks. Absolute demonstration on the previous stops. That was good from Marco Wittmann. We could see that. So what was Wittmann's stop?
Another 6.2.
6.2. So
not so good for Gounon though. 7.1. Not what he wanted. So guess what? He's still stuck behind Ricardo Fella, but he is still just ahead of Bastien Boost. Bastien's not great either. It was all right. 6.7 seconds. Can't believe I'm saying 6.7 seconds. He's all right. But that's the standard we got this weekend.
Okay, Luca, we have to stop this lap. All cars will stop. It's last lap of the window.
Right, no choice. He's our championship leader as well, Maro Engel, and he's been the star this year of being able to get tyres up to temperature on that out lap, as we've seen once again today. Because yes, it was a good pit stop, but a lot of that progress from 7th to 3rd was because of how good Maro Engel's out lap was. Superb stuff from the man from Munich. Right, Preining is in there, leading the pack. Try and stay calm if you're in the pit stop crew here, because you know you are right thrust into the middle of this race now. What you do in the next 6 to 7 seconds could determine the outcome of not just the race, but almost the championship. These little things all add up at the end of the season. Right, Manthey are in. It looks okay. Argentini is going to come in as well. Kelvin van der Linde also coming in. And Bortolotti coming out ahead of Thomas Preining. Look, and Engel's done it as well.
Wow.
Oh, we did not expect that. 9.4 seconds for Preining's pit stop. That's why. So, such a rare thing. Such a rare thing for them not to have one of the really good pit stops. So Bortolotti and Engel both leapfrogging Preining here.
Wow. Did not see that one coming, did we? Yeah, it was a poor stop for Luca Engster as well. That was a 10-seconder for him, so that's going to sting as well. So Mirko Bortolotti jumps to the top.
Here comes a rocket ship, which is green and is BMW shaped, and is driven by Marco Wittmann, who wants this race to end as quickly as possible because he's not feeling very well. And now he's got to do it. He's got to go around the outside of Arjun Maini here. He's finally got past him. So good job done by the crew at Schubert and by Marco Wittmann there. And finally, he gets ahead of Arjun Maini. And I don't think he's done yet because there's a couple of others ahead of him on cold tyres that he would quickly like to dispatch. The first of which is going to be Luca Engsler. And here we go. And Marco Wittmann charging away. Here we go. All the lights flashing up on the dashboard. And he won't get through here, but he might get through at the end of the next straight. Marco Wittmann should have better traction, better tyre temperature. And yeah, he gets a little bit of a tighter exit here. Trying to squeeze the gap is Luca Engsler. You got no chance of keeping him behind, though, I don't think, because he's got the inside line. And Wittmann goes through.
Wow, that is a pit window that has turned everything on its head. We said that second window might be critical, and whoever thought that Manthey would lose the lead on a pit stop, have to wait a long time for that to happen again, but Mirko Bortolotti in the Lamborghini Temerario leading the championship leader, Mauro Engel, would probably be pretty happy with second place at the end of this. There's a replay of Luca Engsler and Marco Wittmann going wheel to wheel. You get the feeling that Wittmann is not in the mood for arguing this weekend.
Is Mirko Bortolotti going to win this race? It is a distinct possibility. He's got his nose in front. His pit stop was 7.3 seconds.
Left rear is what the problem was.
Issue. Can happen to anybody though, can't it? And you can't ever be critical of it.
No.
Because it's just so easy for it to be slightly out of shape. Sometimes it's not even the crew's fault. It's just a failing wheel gun. Oh, just heartbreak for him. So what could he do now? Well, it's going to be tough to come forwards, isn't it? Because he's got that 20 kilograms of success ballast on the car. Still going to be a very, very, very good weekend. The first to third, 2 pole positions, but a real chance to get a double victory here, and it's potentially going to be 16 points instead of 25 for a man that's trying to catch up to everybody else in the championship. That feels painful.
So here comes Mirko Bortolotti. Don't forget, you can vote for your driver of the day at DTM.com or scan the QR code presented by PME Legend. Who is your driver of the day? I think Mirko Bortolotti might be up there, as might Thomas Preining or indeed Mauro Engel. But get your vote in. You've still got a few minutes left to do that. We've still got 7.5 minutes remaining of this race, and it is Thomas Preining, Nicky Tim second, 14%, and Marco Wittmann third with 10%. You can change that percentage if you get involved. Please do that. Here comes the race leader then, through the chicane. Mirko Bortolotti, Mauro Engel looking comfortable in second, but doesn't look to be making any inroads. In fact, Bortolotti has opened the gap up to 1.7 seconds over second place. Thomas Preining in third, but Marco Wittmann looking like the oncoming storm has closed in on the Manthey Porsche.
By the way, well done to Landgraf, because they had a very good stop as well, 6.2 seconds. And Luke Yao has actually ended up 1 place ahead of Nicky Tim, even though Nicky Tim's pit stop was also 6.2 seconds. So the Austrian, again, must have had a couple of mega in-laps and done very well on the out-lap, because Auer up into the points for the first time in the whole race. He's up into 12th place now, and that will give him 4 points. It will also take a point away from Nicky Tim, of course, who's just ahead of him in the championship coming in today. He's only scored 3 as it stands, and there you go. As a result of that, there's only been 1 point between the pair of them. They will, though, both be significantly behind Mauro Engel. Bearing in mind there was only 6 points between all 3 of them before the race started. Mauro, as it stands, is going to be 21 points clear in second place. Could he get the win, or is he going to be third? Because look, they're catching him, aren't they? Preining and Wittmann.
Oh, this is all shaping up. 6 minutes not to miss. Don't go anywhere. Mirko Bortolotti has now extended to over 2 seconds. Marco Wittmann now challenging for the last of the podium position. So Thomas Preining there in third place. Marco Wittmann putting the pressure on. That is a bit of a gift for Mauro Engel. That's allowing him just to break a little bit clear, because suddenly Thomas Preining, rather than attacking for second place, is having to defend that third place. Marco Wittmann in the BMW coming back through the pack. Remember, he could have a tyre advantage as a result of that retirement yesterday, and it might be now that that is starting to pay off.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he saved the best tyres for last, hasn't he? And he is in a hurry here, Marco Wittmann. He wants to get a podium out of this. He was only, after the first 2 weekends of the year, 7 points off the championship lead after Lausitz-Ring and Norris Ring, which were both really tough weekends for the 2-time champion. He was 40 points adrift. left. But he's going well here, catching them up. Can he get a podium out of it? It's still, he's still down a place, isn't he, from where he started on the grid? But you still got to say, given how ill he has been and how ill he looks as well this weekend, a tremendous effort. Even if he only finishes in 4th place, it is a top effort by him. But I don't think he'd be too interested in finishing 4th. If you're that close to silverware, you want to get it. I mean, he might not be able to get himself up onto the podium. He's that ill, but he's got to try and go for it here. And it's going to be a tight finish. So Bortolotti leads, looking for his first win since the Red Bull Ring in September of 2024. And also his first podium since the last round of the 2024 season at Hockenheim. Best of 6 last year in the Abts Lamborghini Huracan. A best of 5th so far this season, which came yesterday here at Oschersleben in the Lamborghini Temeraria with the Grasser Racing team. Could he make a bit of history here as the first winner in the DTM aboard a Lamborghini Temeraria in its debut season? There is Engel in the Mercedes in 2nd. There in 3rd is Preining, 4th Wittmann. So it feels like all of the usual suspects up there. It feels like going back a couple of years in time, doesn't it?
Yeah, the graphic is also confirming that Marco Wittmann has got 18 laps on those soft tyres. Thomas Preining 33 on his. So that confirms our suspicions. Could it be that those younger tyres on the Marco Wittmann car will work to the advantage of 2nd place Mauro Engel? Because that has suddenly meant that Thomas Preining's not able to challenge as hard as he might have been doing and now having to defend. So, yeah, Mauro Engel might be quite happy in the back of his mind that Marco Wittmann has those new tyres on board, providing he doesn't get past Thomas Preining, because then it would be his problem. But 3¼ minutes to hold on a circuit where overtaking is not always easy. So Marco Wittmann is going to start running out of time. We're seeing as they run flat out past the pits. The 3 cars all getting a tow. Well, certainly Thomas Preining and Marco Wittmann getting a tow from Mauro Engel, but nowhere near enough pace to make a move. Around the hotel turn they come. Meanwhile, Mirko Bortolotti says, so long, I'm out of here. 2.7 seconds clear.
Getting away from them, isn't he? Yeah. 125.1, 4/10 quicker than Engel on the last lap as Wittmann gets very close to Preining here. Preining's car starting to get a bit loose. Remember, he's carrying that disadvantage of the success ballast. And Marco Wittmann has got a car which is lighter, a car which has got newer tyres. So he's doing an excellent job here, Thomas Preining, to keep Wittmann at bay. Favourite track this. He finally got his first win around this circuit yesterday. Was certainly his favourite track on the DTM calendar. It says it's in his top 3. It was an unusual top 3, wasn't it? What was it? Nordschleife, Bathurst, Oschersleben. I don't think there's any other driver in the world that's got that as a top 3. 2 of them, yeah, maybe, but maybe not Oschersleben. But he loves this place, and he's doing a fine job. He's not where he wanted to be, but he can try and grimly hang on for a podium here. That will still be a really good result, given the time he lost in the pit stop, given the weight on the car. But Bortolotti looking good. We saw some shots briefly of the Grasser garage, and Gottfried Grasser, the Austrian team, and his wife Elizabeth, who helps run the team as well, looking slightly edgy, looking slightly nervous, but looking like they also know they're on the edge of something pretty historic here. Wittmann, he's menacing in the mirrors of Preining, isn't he? The last thing you want to see is that big BMW breathing down your neck. He tries a slightly wider run there. You got Preining also trying to do something about Engel. Not really losing out to Engel, is he? No. Given the fact he's got this ballast on the car. Engel has got a bit on, but he's only got 5 kilograms on his car.
But he can't challenge him, because, of course, that would just let Marco Wittmann in. When Verena spoke to a very gloomy Mirko Bortolotti and he lined up 6th on the grid at the start of this race, he probably didn't think that he would be leading by now. 3.1 seconds with 1 minute and 1 lap remaining. Oh, how quickly things turn around. Mauro Engel looking pretty solid in that 2nd place, because Marco Wittmann continues to menace Thomas Preining. In the background, Luca Engster in 5th place, so he's not really close enough to make any more progress, but 5th would be another good points haul for him.
Yeah, I don't know if Mirko is being gloomy. He has a very dry sense of humour, and that was a glint in his eye, a twinkle in his eye for sure. He's playing with Verena, I think. Right, so, wow, what can he do? What an effort this has been to be leading the race. I'm just keeping my eye on Engster as well. Would he be able to catch them up if they start fighting each other? Well, he's catching them a bit. 2/10 quicker on the last lap in the Lamborghini. Yeah, he's just coming into shot, isn't he? So he's going to get close, but time is ticking down. It's going to run out the time on this lap. So we're on the penultimate lap of the race now. 6.6 kilometres for Preining to hang on here and brake as late as he dares to make sure the Wittmann can't throw it up the inside of him. Preining is going to be 28 points behind the leader. I don't think he'll lose out. He was 24 behind at the start of the race, but given he was 9th in the championship before this weekend, and he's got the Nürburgring to come, where the car is competitive. It's really been competitive at Sachsenring, which is the penultimate round of the series. And it's definitely competitive at that Porsche at Hockenheim, where, of course, he got a double win in the 2023 season to seal his championship. He's got, you know, lots of positives ahead, hasn't he, the Austrian?
He has, and this is a big, successful weekend by any stretch of the imagination. Interesting to see them going around turn 7 there, and how much tighter the line is that Thomas Preining can take with what feels like a little bit more grip with that nimble Porsche up ahead of him. Mauro Engel taking that wider line, but with time running out, he's going to struggle to make any kind of challenge. You suggested that Luca Engstler would be catching them. Well, he's taken 2/10 out on the last lap, but he's not going to get up close and personal quickly enough as everybody looks on from the Grasser garage at their man, the sole Grasser car, with Mirko Bortolotti at the wheel. And he is getting ready to start the final part of the race.
There's Elizabeth Grasser, barely able to breathe, smiling, but also looking stressed. On to the last lap of the race then for Mirko Bortolotti. Well, I trust their pilot, that's for sure. He's a superb driver, isn't he? You don't win the DTM Championship if you are not. Spa 24-hour race winner last year, of course, was his real highlight of last season as well. But he went the whole year without winning. He hasn't won this year. He hasn't been on the podium since 2024. But you can't keep a good man down for long. And Mirko Bortolotti is almost there, and he's got a big buffer as well. Preining is still working hard to keep the car on the track with all the weight he's carrying. It's a great effort, this, from Tommy to keep Marco Wittmann behind. It's equally a great effort from Marco Wittmann to even be in the car the way he's been feeling this weekend. So 4th place, not where he wants to be, but still a sterling effort. Van der Linde has had a bit of a disappointing second half of the race. He's got to 5th at the start, didn't he? But he slipped back to 7th place. Miney's going to be in between them again in the top 6 for Argent. Didn't expect that. He didn't expect that this weekend. Great job by HRT to improve that Ford as much as they have done. Right, he's just got to go through turn 12, and then he's got 2 right-hand turns, and then he'll see the checkered flag. And Mirko Bortolotti is on his way. He is on his way to picking up the first ever win for the Lamborghini Temerario. His first win since 2024. He's back, everybody. Mirko Bortolotti wins at Oschersleben. There they are. Well done, Grasser. There's the Italian flag, number 1 on it. A long-term partnership. He's spent many years in other championships, even in this when he first came into DTM with Grasser. It's a great relationship they've got. The Austrian team, the Italian driver, the Italian car. Wow. Mirko Bortolotti wins. How about that? Lamborghini Temerario, a winning car. Fantastic job. There's Gottfried Grasser in the middle of the picture. Elizabeth Grasser getting hugs. I distinctly remember the first time I properly spoke to Gottfried Grasser was after Max Powell won at the Nürburgring. What was it? 13th on the grid in the wet. And by the time I got down there from the commentary box, they'd already got about 4 crates of beer on the go in the team. They're all having a beer. I can hear the clinking almost in the background now. And I think we might get some... Are we going to get a burnout here from Mirko, or
is he just going to jump on the roof?
Just going to walk home?
Can I just say at this moment,
the guy just stopped. Has he got a problem? No, he's
no,
just enjoying it.
I just want to say at this moment, while we're looking at the GRT Grasser car, also get well soon to Max Powell, his teammate who had that accident at Norrisring. He will be watching this and cheering his teammate, Mirko Bortolotti. So get well soon, Max. Hope to see you back on track soon. Your teammate has just done it and won for the first time in a Temerario.
Yeah, I think that one's for Max, isn't it? And that one's from the team and from the heart.
Okay, Tommy, checkered flag is out, checkered flag is out. That's P3, that's P3. Extremely well done from your side. Amazing race. Very well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't think you feel like it's congratulations. It could have been a win, that, but it's still an epic weekend for him. He's dragged himself back into the fight. The man never gives in. And he's your driver of the day, presented by PME legend Thomas Preining. Well, you certainly can't say he put a wheel wrong, did he? He did everything right. It was just that issue in the pit stop, ultimately, that cost him. But I tell you what, he drove brilliantly to keep Marco Wittmann behind him, didn't he, at the end of that race?
Yeah, Wittmann was a man on a mission, wasn't he? But Thomas Preining was the one who got that podium. And here we have another look at that pit stop. Manthey, they've won many races through their pit strategies and their quick pit stops. This one didn't quite go to plan, but still, third place, valuable points for Thomas Preining. He is well and truly back in the hunt.
Yeah, and great weekend as well for Abt, who've had their troubles over the last couple of years. A podium yesterday for Luca Engst. They're not quite there today, but a 5th place. Really good weekend for him. Mirko Bortolotti then becomes your latest winner in the 2026 season, and he takes the victory by 3 seconds from the 3rd row of the grid. Maro Engel, always there, comes home with his 5th podium of the season, and he will extend his championship lead, which he had coming into today. Thomas Preining is in the fight, no doubt about it. He's 3rd in the race and 4th in the championship. Marco Wittmann, a brave effort for 4th place. Luca Engst 5th. Arjun Maini comes home in 6th. Kelvin van der Linde with his 2nd 7th place finish of the weekend. Ricardo Feller in 8th. Jules Gounon. Frustrations continue for the Frenchman in 9th place. Matteo Cairoli, a tough weekend in 10th. Bastian Buus 11th. Lucas Auer dragged a few points out of it in 12th. Likewise, Nicky Tim in 13th. Marco Mappelli was 14th, and Thierry Vermeulen was the last of the points finishers. No points for either of the McLarens. Bendo was 16th, Timo Glock was 17th. They both fell away at the end of the race, and Tom Callender was the other driver to finish but not score any points. A replay then. He's going to go to bed thinking of this image, isn't he? And everybody at Grasser, this moment that he crossed the line and got the race victory, his 5th career victory in the DTM. That's going to be his 19th podium in what is his 75th race in the DTM. Mirko Bortolotti, the 2024 champion, back on the top step of the podium. And I don't think I've ever seen a driver getting out of the car and celebrating like that, apart from when it's the final round of the season at Hockenheim and you've won the championship. He feels like he's won the world, doesn't he, with that race, because of all the tough times that he's gone through, not just this year, but last year was a tough one as well. And, well, I think Verena might get more than a couple of words answers out of Mirko when she interviews him after the race. He's bouncing, and quite right too. And then we've got this new podium procedure today, so it's going to be fun for the fans, isn't it? Because the fan zone is now the home to the podium, and they're going to be right by the celebrations.
When that Temerario rolled out on track at the Red Bull Ring, you would not have bet that less than 3 months later it would be taking its first win. I mean, it's about 2.5 months, isn't it, that we've had since the Temerario was rolled out, and already it's a race winner. Such is the progress, and that's a big hats off to GRT Grasso and also Abt as well, who have been developing that car throughout the season. They have worked their socks off to get that car competitive, and this is the start of the fruits of their labour.
Here he is then. He gets out of the car for the 2nd time after the checkered flag, and this time he's up on the roof and he's back on top of the world. Mirko Bortolotti is your race winner. Well done to him. Well done to Lamborghini, and well done to the TGI by GRT team, the Grasser Racing team. An epic result for him, and he's going to be absolutely overjoyed. Let's get some reaction to that race with Verena.
I've got Thomas Preining here. Thomas, yesterday you had an epic day, going from pole to victory. Today everything was looking like you could repeat that. Unfortunately, the 2nd pit stop kind of cost you the win. Nonetheless, you made a podium in 3rd place. What's going through your head there?
It's still a great weekend. I mean, we scored more points than the rest of the season combined, I think. So all in all, it's been a really fantastic one. Good way to come back from the summer break also. With the pit stops, this can happen. If I go off on track also, nobody's going to shout at me in the team. So we're all trying our best. We're all on the limit. And in the end, 99% of the time, everybody in the team is doing the best possible job. So a mistake like today on the limit can happen.
And you have 3 more race weekends to go, and you're still fighting for the championship.
Let's see.
All right. Thank you so much, Thomas. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. I like that from Thomas. Look, you know, I make a mistake, nobody shouts at me. Somebody else makes a mistake, I'm not going to shout at them. We are a team. We win together, we lose together. We know we, most of the time, get things right. That was very gracious indeed from Thomas Preining. look at that for a crowd. We've had 55,000 spectators across the course of the weekend here at Oschersleben. We had 47,500 last year. So brilliant, brilliant crowd who have really played their part in the atmosphere and the success of this weekend. And well done to BWT and the ADAC as well. We saw from the graphic a few minutes ago that they, just in this race alone, have raised over 32,000 euros for the Race Wells in Laps project, where we're donating to improve cleaner water in Africa by building wells in a couple of impoverished countries. 4 euros for every racing lap for every driver added up and combined, and a sterling effort at every race weekend from BW to provide mineralised clean water, and very much involved in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't it great to see the ADAC just taking the initiative on that alongside sustainable fuels and tyres and just everything, just thinking about the bigger picture as we look at today's bigger picture. Thomas Priding, great slow-mos there. Maro Engel, it's the consistency that wins championships, not just race wins. And Mr. Consistency this year has truly been Maro Engel. But who, when they got out of bed this morning, thought that they would be witnessing Mirko Bortolotti taking the top step of the podium in a Lamborghini Temerario? Oh, how quickly the tables turn.
I'll be honest, I don't think even Mirko thought that. Not even Mirko thought he was going to win that race, but it was done. You know, there was no element of... I mean, didn't even have the 2 quickest pit stops, did they? Had solid pit stops, but they were both 7 seconds plus. But a lot of that down to the performance of the car and the performance of the driver, because I'd love to go back and look at the data of his in and out laps, because they were bloody mega, weren't they? They must have been to get him up there. Fantastic effort. But also, Maro Engel, I mean... the level that he drives at every time he gets in the car. I mean, the guy, he's like Lugier, isn't he? He's out racing every weekend, almost, it feels like. And he just keeps repeating. He's still up there. Brilliant stuff from Maro Engel, who is now with his biggest championship lead that he's had. He's been a leader a couple of times this season, but never by this much. 3 weekends to go. He's in pole position. Right, our podium ceremony about to get underway. I think this could be quite an emotional, quite a raucous one. Jan Schmitz calls up Thomas Priding, who positively bounces to the podium. Yeah, still, as he said, a very good weekend. He didn't quite score as many points this weekend as he'd scored for the rest of the season. He'd already got a reasonable amount, of course. He'd already got a race win. But it only means he's outscored everybody else. That's the important thing. 1-1 today, but he's outscored everybody else this weekend. Maro Engel, once again on the podium. Waves to the crowd, waves to his team. His championship leader now by over 20 points. But here he comes, Mirko Bortolotti with his 5th win. One of the most important of his career, one of the most jubilant moments. Oh, he likes the car now. He likes the car now. He likes it today. He hasn't always been friends with that car, but maybe over time they'll begin to grow to love one another. Well done, Mirko Bortolotti. And the winning team, of course, waiting for the beers to be presented to them once they get back to the garage. Grasser Racing Team. Gottfried himself is going to come up here. Elizabeth and Gottfried Grasser, who do a great job, the Austrians, and Gottfried Grasser will celebrate up there on the podium and will definitely get soaked in champagne as we go for the Italian national anthem. what a proud moment for Mirko Bortolotti. He's tearing up.
Yeah.
He's absolutely tearing up. It means a lot when you are used to winning. Italian F3 champion, Formula 2 champion, European Megad Trophy champion, DTM champion, Spa 24-hour winner. You don't like finishing 6th and 7th, do you? Or worse. And I guess sometimes you feel like, is it ever going to come back to me? Are we ever going to get the package together? He's been through a tough couple of years since, of course, the very highest accolade that he got, which was winning the DTM championship in 2024. He's had to wait a long time. But you know what? Motorsport kicks you in the teeth a lot of the time, and sometimes, most of the time, and nothing you can do about it. You just got to keep taking the punches. But when you finally get back up and you get that knockout blow, boy, it feels good.
Yeah, and it looks to me like it almost looks like it means more than the championship. We got 2 former champions and the championship leader on the podium. So awful lot of talent up there, and also Gottfried Grasser, who was racing in the GT Masters a couple of weeks ago and making a very good account of himself as well. So much talent there stood on that podium receiving some trophies. I think that the crew from Grasser probably will have permission to come in a bit later tomorrow morning, because there might be some celebrations going on tonight.
And tomorrow, and Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's raining now, would you believe?
Would you believe?
Wow, fantastic. It just keeps on delivering, doesn't it, the DTM? When you think you know what's going to happen, you're wrong. Here we go, champagne time. Bye-bye, Gottfried, he's off. He's not going to get far. No, he's back, and he's got absolutely... The trouble is, he's one of the rare team representatives that is also a racing driver, so he also knows how to handle the champagne. Mirko's going to soak himself anyway. Fantastic. Mirko Bortolotti back on the top step of the podium, making history as the first ever driver to get a victory in the DTM in any major championship with the new Lamborghini Temerario. And with all the work that he does, of course, with Lamborghini, a factory driver, all the development work he's done over the years, makes sense that he'd be the man to do it. Right, what a celebration. Let's get some news of it with Verena.
And I've got Maro Engel here. Congratulations. Fought your way from P5 to P2, and you're the leader of the championship by 21 points. So how excited are you, Maro?
Yeah, it was an exciting race. Not the best start, and it was a bit tough in the first stint, and I have to say today the guys, phenomenal strategy and pit stops, especially so happy for them after yesterday. That's the way we wanted to come back, and they proved it and they showed it, so that gave us the P2.
So it feels even more special, I guess, after such a, if the tension is so high, right?
Yeah, I mean, Windward is known for amazing pit stops, and that's exactly what they showed today.
Great job you guys did. Thank you so much, Maro. Back to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely right, Maro. I mean, 7th to 2nd, effectively, during that strategy. Oh, it wasn't just... He's been a bit modest there. It wasn't just the pit stops that did it. He was also excellent, wasn't he, on the in, and particularly that outlap after that pit stop, that first one, second one. Mega job by all of them. So well done, Windward. That, again, will almost feel like a win for Maro, given where he was on the grid and in the race. Top job by him, top job by Thomas Preiling, top job by Marco Wittmann as well, even though he's not on that podium. He'll bounce back and be up to full fitness again, hopefully. By the time in 3 weeks we get to the Nürburgring for our latest instalment of DTM 2026. Just that Sachsenring and Hockenheim to come. It's rattling along fast and furious this season so far, isn't it? But Mirko Bortolotti adds his name to the rostrum. He becomes the 7th different winner of the season and picks up his first win in over a year and a half. Mirko Bortolotti's Italian flag is flown aloft. It's hoisted to the top of the flagpole. You can see what it means to him and to the team. Joy, emotion, relief, I guess, as well, Brian. It's all in there.
Yeah, I mean, relief, because when you felt like you had a big mountain to climb at the beginning of the season, and he must wondered whether this moment was going to come. And yeah, I think relief. You can see there's some tears and emotion, and a lot of it's just that weight off the shoulders, isn't it? And yes, I can still win. Yes, the car is good enough to win, and just all that coming together. And I would say that when we reconvene at the Nürburgring on the second week of August, that it will be a more confident Mirko Bortolotti that will line up on the grid.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt, ever any doubt that he could do it. But, you know, it's, as we've said, team sport. It's about the package. You know, you stick the best driver in the world in Formula One in a car which is at the back of the grid, he's not going to win a race. It can't be done. It's all got to be together. The whole package has got to be there. And, it doesn't diminish from what your achievements are as a team or as a driver or as a manufacturer, but there's so many elements that you've got to get right, especially in this championship. You only got, I mean, it's not like they've been miles off the pace, but you've got to be 6/10 off the pace, 7/10 off the pace, and you're nowhere in this championship.
Yeah, I mean, 6/10 is worth, what, probably 10 places on the grid, or maybe even more. It is absolute fine margins here, and the fact that that car is now up there and so competitive is just a fantastic testament.
Yeah, fantastic way then to end the weekend. From Brian Oliver and me, Chris Hartley, thanks for your company. From the commentary box, it's goodbye and back down to Verena.
And here I've got a very, very happy man. Congratulations, Mirko. I mean, you really did it from P6 coming to victory. You fought really hard, and I mean, it's been a while since you were in the podium and also a victory. So how excited are you? We saw you so emotional.
Yeah, massively, especially given the fact that it was not a lucky punch or nobody gave it to us. We really earned it on track with a perfect race, and it's the first win ever for the Lamborghini Temerario, the most important championship. So happy days. I'm super, super proud and happy on the team. And I can't really still, it has to sink in, to be honest, because it's such a big thing for us to be winning a race in DTM this year with the new car is amazing.
And also, I mean, in 3 weeks we've got Nürburgring, so now it's hopefully going to give you wings to do really well that weekend as well. At least you're going there very optimistic, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, Nürburgring has always been a good place for me. I think I celebrated my first ever DTM win back in 2023 at the Nürburgring, so it's always a place where I like to go. But yeah, we need to stay with the foot on the ground. Every track where we're going with the new car is a new ground. We've never done a test or something, so we always start from scratch in FP1. It's not that easy, but you know, we like a challenge, and we've proven today that once the opportunity comes up, we grab it.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you're going to celebrate a lot. And looking over there, everybody's waiting for Mirko for the picture, and yeah, they're absolutely excited. They'll be fighting. They'll be celebrating really hard. You can see them clap and cheer this man on as if he's won the championship already, but it's lovely to see. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, Mirko, we haven't seen him that emotional in quite a while, so congratulations to him. And what an exciting weekend we had here in Oschersleben. And now, of course, we're really looking forward to the Nürburgring in 3 weeks' time. So see you then. Here are the highlights. Bye-bye.